It feels good. Yeah, it feels good. Can you make it feel? It'll make it feel. Woo! It feels good. Okay, enough of the sing-along. I just want to let you know that was a reference to that Rick and Morty episode that was parodying the Purge. I saw that before I saw first Purge, and needless to say, I definitely got my little vigilante film fix here right here. You know, earlier on this year we had Death Wish that kind of came around, but now we have First Purge, which is, you know, a prequel to the Purge trilogy, and needless to say, it did not disappoint. It was much funnier than what I was expecting. It was also very, very violent. For a 15 film, it definitely pushes the boundaries of what would be acceptable taste and decency. But then again, what exactly is taste and decency? You know, but without going into, you know, little specifics here and there, essentially the story follows about what happens before that eventful night. They use as some source or like experiment for 12 hours to see how these poor or ethnic people, according to these statisticians, engage in this activity that would be eventually known as the Purge, and we follow this group of people trying to survive the night and even trying to take vengeance against their own enemies. It's a very controversial film, needless to say, and it's from the same people who done Get Out, obviously, from Blumhouse Productions, and it's definitely not going to appeal to a lot of people. It's arguably, I would say, a very left-wing film, even if it has a shitload of firearms and graphic violence are depicted, and drug use, and strong language, and even implied oral sex. So this movie is definitely an appeal to people, and it's also very obvious what it's wearing on its sleeve. It's definitely not a film that's aimed at the sort of Trump Brexit crowd. This is pretty much like what I call black nationalist, Black Panther type of film. In many ways, what Black Panther should have been if it was a lot more politically incorrect. That's essentially what First Purge is. And perhaps the most interesting thing about the film is that in the third act the movie starts dwelling into more conspiracy territory instead of it just being survive the night. It starts turning into like The Raid of all things and Die Hard, where they start having all these fights and shootouts inside this apartment complex and tower block. I'm like, this is like The Raid. This is one of my favorite films, and it was like they were referencing that in a sort of sleek and innocuous sort of way, and I just was like, oh man, that's great. And that made me happy because they were kind of referencing The Raid, which, you know, like Purge, also is known for its violence and over-the-top elements about it. And I think that's kind of what appealed to me too. As far as other films are concerned, because I know this has been a very good year for sequels and sort of second takes for films based on concepts. When you compare this to Deadpool and Incredibles, this one didn't really disappoint in, you know, sort of in the vein of Incredibles. As far as Christmases are concerned, I can't really think of any other than that the first 45-50 minutes can be a little sluggish and not necessarily knowing what's going on between some of the character interactions, you know, the Black Lives Matter protester and trying to help out with the drug lord or gunman that's trying to protect the family and the tower block. Not quite clear, but I'm willing to excuse all of that because of the very politically charged, entertaining premise and the action sequences and the bizarre humor coming from that crazy guy with the scars. Like, I don't want to kill people. I don't want to do it. It's like, it was unintentionally hilarious for the very wrong reasons. But I highly advise you, if you don't like graphic violence and if you're a politically challenged person, don't watch this movie. And don't watch the other ones as well, otherwise you just might start some sort of civil war or something. That's the last thing we need.